The smoke hangs like a low, gray memory over the earth, a blanket that refuses to lift. Dawn comes anyway, thin and stubborn, and the light reveals what the night tried to hide. Yaqtan and Ariella stand at the lip of the village, silhouettes against a sky that has not yet learned to forgive. The wind moves through charred beams and torn banners, carrying with it the small, human sounds that make a place a home. A cough, a whisper, the rattle of a child's breath. The dead lie where they fell, the dying whisper for help. The wounded cling to life with hands that tremble and eyes that plead. Ariella walks first into the wreckage, each step a small sacrament. She moves as if the ground itself might break beneath her, as if grief could topple the earth. She finds the little girl who once followed her with bright, unafraid eyes, a child who had offered her wildflowers. The grandmother who had wrapped Ariella in a shawl, and a story now lies still, her hands folded as if in sleep. Ariella kneels. The world narrows to the weight of two bodies and the ache in her chest. She presses her forehead to the grandmother's hand and lets the grief come, raw and honest, a tide that leaves her hollow and strangely cleansed. Yaqtan comes to her side and places a hand on her shoulder. He says nothing. His silence is a kind of prayer, steady, unadorned. Together they move through the village, gathering those who can still stand. Men with blood on their sleeves, women with soot in their hair, children with eyes too old for their faces. They form a ragged procession, a living chain that will not let the dead be the last story told here. They begin with the wounded. Under Yaqtan's direction, the strongest lift beams and carry the injured to a makeshift shelter. Ariella learns to bind wounds, to hold a fevered hand and speak a name into the dark so the person will not feel alone. They bury the dead with care, with the dignity the enemy tried to deny them. They mark graves with stones and with the memory of who these people were. A baker, a seamstress, a child who loved to sing. Each burial is a small defiance. Days fold into weeks, weeks into months. The altar, smashed and desecrated, is rebuilt with hands that tremble but do not falter. Homes are mended, roofs patched with woven reeds and new timber. The first fortifications rise simple, honest walls and watch posts, where people stand in pairs and keep vigil. The town breathes again, slowly, like someone learning to walk after a fall. People watch Yaqtan and Ariella as if they are watching a miracle. Yaqtan lifts fallen beams that would take 10 men to move. Ariella carries stone blocks as if they were bundles of straw. Their strength becomes a testimony, a sign that the living God has not abandoned this place. Where their hands touch, hope takes root. Word spreads. 2 giants stood against the clan of the true sun. 2 giants defended the innocent. 2 giants are rebuilding a sanctuary of holy resistance. Refugees come, families with nothing but a few pots and a story of loss. Wanderers with hollowed faces and hands that know how to mend. Craftsmen who can coax new life from broken things. Yaqtan welcomes them with clarity. There will be no idols here, he says. The living God alone is honored in this place. And all hands work. Men, women, and children. Everyone contributes. The people agree, because they have seen enough darkness to know truth when it stands before them. Ariella watches Yaqtan closely through that year. She watches his faith in the small things, the way he pauses at dawn to whisper thanks, the way he tends the altar with the same hands that lift beams, the way he trains with a discipline that is almost a kind of worship. She sees him offer sacrifices, simple, humble things, and pray with a quiet that is not show but substance. He trains daily, pushing his body with relentless discipline, not for glory, but for readiness. She hears the whisper again, the one that has guided her since childhood. And this time it is not a question, but an invitation. She hesitates. Prayer feels like a language she has not yet learned. She worries she will say it wrong, offend the God she is only beginning to know. The whisper answers her gently, patiently, kindly. She stands in silence and listens. The voice that has guided her is not a command, but a presence, a steadying hand at the back of her neck. She begins to speak, haltingly at first, then with a growing confidence that surprises her. The town endures several attacks from the clan of the True Sun during that year. Desperate attempts to erase the beacon that has become a threat. Each attack fails. Yaqtan trains a small band of villagers and refugees, sword and spear for the strong, slings for the young, watch rotations for the old. Courage spreads like a slow fire. Each defense strengthens the people. Each victory, small and costly, builds their confidence. Refugees bring skills, healers who know herbs and poultices, builders who teach better sanitation, craftsmen who fashion tools from scrap. Under God's protection, the town begins to thrive. Ariella notices another thing. Every time new people arrive, Yaqtan pulls his hood over his head. She remembers the hood from the day he saved her, the way it hid his face when he did not want to be seen. One evening, as the sun bleeds into the horizon and the town hums with the ordinary work of living, she asks him why he hides. He hesitates, then tells her the truth, a name given to him as a child, the unwanted son, a label that had been meant to wound and to define. Ariella steps closer and points to the people who have come seeking him, seeking his leadership, seeking his protection. She tells him he is no longer that unwanted child. She tells him he is loved. She pulls him into an embrace. No more hoods, she says softly. Yaqtan weeps, silent, grateful tears that are both release and rebirth. Far from the town, in a place where shadows gather like a congregation, the true sun presides over a different kind of ritual. His dark priests gather for an unholy communion. He cuts his palm and lets his blood fall into a chalice. The priests take 5 drops each. Convulsions seize them. Dark transformations ripple through their bodies. The blood is poured into jugs and carried by disciples to chapters across the land. The true sun tries to hide his weakness, but the high priest sees it. The blood loss has been growing. The true sun's strength is fading. His mask slips. A seed of ambition stirs in the high priest's heart. The true sun retreats to be alone and nearly collapses. Fear creeps in. Doubt floods his mind. He curses the spirits, calling them bodiless. And then the spirit of Og descends upon him. He pleads for rest, for time to recover, reminding Og that they already have 50 chapters. Og rejects him, calls him weak. The true sun snaps. He shouts that Og is just a spirit with no body, that without the true sun the spirits are nothing. He declares himself destiny and demands obedience. The word obey is a blade. The spirits roar in fury and then, silence. One by one they depart, leaving the true sun alone for the first time in ages. The loss is immediate and absolute. His authority evaporates. His power drains. He trembles, naked of the voices that once fed him. Alone, afraid, he doubts everything. Who is he without the spirits? Is he truly chosen, or merely a man pretending to be divine? The high priest watches from a distance, the seed of ambition now a sapling. He summons a messenger, seals a note, and sends it to the Amalekites. The wheels of treachery begin to turn. A messenger arrives with news that lands like a stone in the true sun's chest. A town of holy resistance has risen, led by a Nephilim son who fights for the living God. This Nephilim has destroyed 3 chapters and is training the people to fight back. The report is precise and damning. Panic, which had been a whisper, becomes a roar. The true sun, desperate and abandoned, gives the messenger 2 words: find abyss. The command hangs in the air like a verdict. It is both a plea and a threat, a last-ditch order from a man who has lost his chorus of spirits, and now seeks something deeper, darker, more absolute. The messenger bows and departs, carrying those 2 words into the night, into the mouths of men who will obey because fear is a language they understand. The dawn over the rebuilt town is gentle and ordinary. Children run between repaired houses. The altar stands whole. Yaqtan and Ariella walk among their people, hands calloused, faces lined with the honest fatigue of those who have labored for life. They do not know yet what the command will bring. They only know the work before them, to tend, to teach, to protect, to pray. They know the cost of standing, and they have chosen it. The smoke of the ruined village has lifted, but the memory of it remains, a scar that will shape them. In that scar, in the quiet places between the prayers and the labor, something else grows, a community that will not bow to fear, a sanctuary that will not be erased. The story pauses there, breath held, as the messenger rides away with a single, terrible instruction: find abyss.